Hi, my name is Bob Dittmer, and welcome to Explorations in Public Relations. In this short series of video interviews, we explore the practice and profession of public relations. Today, we're continuing our discussion with Ed Holdaway, the Sports Information Director for Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis. Again, Ed, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Today, we're going to talk a little bit more about your specific experiences as a Sports Information Director. I know that your basketball team went to the NCAA Finals a couple of years ago. What was that like?
It was really a whirlwind kind of tour. It was unprecedented on this camp. From the moment the final horn sounded on that game, my cell phone was nonstop, and we're getting calls from all over the U.S. It was really just, there was so much excitement surrounding that group. I specifically probably didn't have as much time as I would have liked to have enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. But looking back, one of the more rewarding experiences I've had in this field. And fortunately, Coach Hunter took it upon himself to make sure that he handled as many different media requests as possible.
When you have a team make the show like that, do you work with the basketball players, the students, to give them a little bit of preparation for what to expect when the media comes calling?
A little bit. I would say I did a little coaching on my end. Just, you know what, guys, there's going to be a little more of a media crunch. There's going to be a little more of a media presence around. You need to carry yourselves a little. I mean, the cameras are always rolling. People are taking in what you're doing. So I did do a little coaching on that end.
When you have these kinds of experiences, they must be really professionally rewarding to take your practice from the local marketplace into the national marketplace when you come to the tournament. What was that like?
It's really rewarding, like you said, and a part of it, you're still a fan, you're still a sports fan. So I recall the first phone call I got was from the Dan Patrick Show. Mm-hmm. Which blew me away because I'm a frequent listener of the Dan Patrick Show. So his producer had said right away, hey, we want to have Matt Crenshaw on the show as soon as you can get him. So by about 10 a.m. the next morning, we had Matt on the line with the Dan Patrick Show talking about making the game-winning shot against Valparaiso in the championship game. Mm-hmm. But no, I mean, it's definitely, it's almost shocking to know that many people can get a hold of you if they need to get a hold of you. The media, like I said, the media hits were all across the country.
Now, a few years later, you had another experience as an IUPUI player declared for the draft, George Hill. Tell us about what that was like.
George was just a fantastic player, and we were aware of that his freshman year. We knew we had something special. Our coaches had really stayed on him, and he had made a promise to his late grandfather. They wanted to play in Indianapolis and keep a commitment to IUPUI. So to really see him blossom from his freshman year, and he missed a year due to an injury, and we saw him on the backside just working nonstop to continue to improve and get back on the court. You really know you have something special, and I think I did a really good job with George fostering that relationship from day one and letting him know that he was on the cusp of something great. And then when he finally did declare, that's kind of I don't want to say a once-in-a-lifetime deal for a school like IUPUI, but it's not happening every day. We're not Kansas or Kentucky or North Carolina in basketball. It was really fun for me to be able to work hand-in-hand with George and hopefully teach him a couple things about dealing with the media and preparing him for the next level in that regard.
And I might add, George Hill was drafted by the San Antonio Spurs in the first round and just was one of the stars of their playoff run here. Now, the third kind of major event, not certainly sports-related, but also a little bit different, was Coach Ron Hunter and his new moniker as the Shoeless Coach. Tell us a little bit about that.
To be honest with you, Ron came in my office one day and put really a postcard down on my desk, and it was a Samaritan's Feet postcard, put it on my desk and said, I think I'm going to do this. And I honestly had no idea what he was talking about. And then he went into more detail, hey, I'm going to coach a game, my bare feet, raise awareness for this group. And honestly, we didn't know how much it would take off. I don't think, looking back, we had no idea how big this story would be. And it took Ron a little courage to step out and do that and think outside the box to make it come together. Again, it's one of those kind of once-in-a-lifetime type stories. I think we captured, we've obviously hit a different demographic. I deal with the sports media every day. I've gotten calls from media members that ordinarily I wouldn't be talking.
And of course, you got to tell us how many shoes have been collected as a part of Ron's efforts, and what's he been able to do with some of the players?
The initial year was 200,000 plus, and that was just in the opening months of year one. So now we're on to year three. I would say it's probably in the millions. It'd have to be in the millions at this point. In terms of with the players, he took them to Costa Rica to deliver some of the shoes, and to hear the players talk about the trip, it changed their lives, and obviously for the better. They saw how much they're given on a daily basis. They have houses to live in, they have shoes on their feet, they have food on their table, and they saw the other side of that there are people in this world that don't have the simple luxuries that we have.
Ed, as a Division I institution, we're operating under the standard NCAA rules. What kind of experiences do you have? What do the rules restrict you from doing those kinds of things? It must be a little bit restrictive in some ways.
Initially, I have to rely on my compliance coordinator quite a bit. Her motto is ask before you act. We ask the question and she tells us yay or nay, or how we can make it work within the rules. The very basic ones I work with most often probably stem from recruiting. Coaches and administrators obviously can't talk about prospective student athletes until they've actually signed a national letter of intent. I deal with a lot of obviously future Jaguars before they're on campus. So I need to be able to tell my coaches, hey, you can't comment on this kid, or hey, we've gotten a signed letter from this kid, you can now speak on them. But the steadfast rule is to work with the compliance office as closely as possible, and like she says, you always need to ask before you act.
Thank you for joining us today. And my name is Bob Dittmer, and we've been talking about amateur sports and public relations. We hope that you stay tuned for more such programs in the future. Thank you for joining us.